What an unbelievable story. What an unbelievable story. At the age of 60 years young, James Warren White is back in the last 32 at the Barbican for the first time in more than a decade.
Thank you.
Jimmy, what a way to do it. And what a week. This has been incredible.
Yeah, I've been hitting the ball well for quite some time, but I'm not having any results at all. I won my first match 6-0, played okay. My next match against Mitchell Mann, something really clicked, and I fancied the match with Stephen Maguire, but Stephen Maguire's such a confident player. He's 3-1 up. I should have been 2-0 up. And then after the interval, I stole a couple of frames and I hit good form. But for today's match with Dominic, the first session, it was so scrappy. I was so lucky to get out 3-1 up. And in the interval, you know, I just said to myself, like, come on, man, all this work you've done and you're 3-1 up. And because sometimes when you play bad, players will tell you, sometimes at my age, when you play bad, it gets a bit embarrassing. And that game with Dominic, the first 4 frames, you know, we was both missing balls and frustrating. But then I thought, like, in the interval as well, I thought like the likes of John Higgins, who's sometimes he struggles, but he still plays match play snooker. He still treats it like a job. So that's how I went out there the second half, and I played a little bit better. So I now played Jack Lisowski on Sunday, and I'm buzzing.
Well, you're going to have to watch the draw tomorrow to see who you get in the last 32. So we're really looking forward.
I thought I played Jack Lisowski with a draw, no?
No, it's a flat draw tomorrow. We don't know who you're going to get. The draw's going to be at the end of tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I've read that wrong. So
the whirlwind's gone early on how the draw's going to pan out. Jimmy, it doesn't matter who comes out of that bag of balls for the top 16, you are in it, and I hope you realise how many people you've inspired by still having this much talent for snooker and by still having this much passion for the sport that you have ignited now for more than 4 decades.
Thanks very much. You know, but you know, if I didn't think I couldn't win, I wouldn't play. So, you know, and we just want to say to Nana, we all love you, darling. Our Nana's not doing great at the moment, but we all love her very much.
Well, I'm sure your whole family are immensely proud of what you're continuing to do here. When you won the UK with arguably one of the finest moments of your glittering career with 10 major titles and the Masters, but winning the UK in '92, you know, righting the wrong of the previous year against John Parrott, if someone had said to you then, you would still be making appearances in the last 32 of the same event 3 decades later, would you have believed them?
Not at all. You know, we're very lucky, us snooker players, because it's not like football or boxing. If you've got, you know, the passion to practice, and you know, you can still, you know, keep your game in fairly good shape. You can go on, look at me. I'm you know, I'm nearly 50 and I'm still playing.
Well, almost, maybe add on a decade. I remember how good that birthday cake was that the Eurosport colleagues sorted you out with at the Worlds back in May. And Jimmy, where does this stand in terms of your recent achievements in say the last 2 decades? I know you've gone on and become a multiple world seniors champion, and I know we're only talking about a last 32, and you've won so many great big events. But in the last 20 years, bearing in mind who you've beaten and how you've beaten them, where does this run to make it to the Barbican sit?
Well, you'll have to ask me after I win it, because I'm not here to just make the numbers up. You know, if I bring my A game, I can win the competition.
Okay, on that, I know you said you thought you were playing Jack Lisowski. Any preferences at all? I mean, there'll be loads of people out there who inevitably would love to see you play Ronnie. Do you care?
Not at all, but, you know, are you sure I don't play Jack Lisowski?
I'm 99.9% sure there is a flat draw. Ivan, just double confirm. Ivan Hershevitz. It is a random draw, Jimmy. It's not Jack Lisowski. Well, it might be Jack Lisowski.
It could be Jack.
It could be Jack.
I thought it was Jack.
But that would be a coincidence.
Listen, they're just, every one of these guys, they're in the top 16 for a reason, because they're consistent and they're all top players, you know. I'm down in the rankings because I'm not consistent, but my A game can compete with any of them.
So you don't care who comes out the draw. And Jimmy, I genuinely mean it will be an utter privilege to introduce you to the crowd. You do realise, whoever it is and whichever afternoon or evening you happen to play on for that last 32 encounter, people are going to go wild. What you've done today and in beating Stephen Maguire has sent ripples out with the confines of snooker. People are saying, Jimmy White's back in the big time. The ovation you're going to receive at the Barbican will be immense.
Yeah, you know, listen, I've always had great support, and you know, as we've gone on in the decades, you know, you've got Ronnie O'Sullivan who plays the game so exciting. You've got Trump, you know, who's back in form. You know, so you know, it's a pleasure to be amongst these guys, and you know, as I said, I'm going to go home now and rest, and go to York on Friday. What day is it? It's Wednesday, isn't it? We haven't got a lot of time off, have we? I'm going on Friday. Listen, I'm just so pleased that there's nothing wrong with my game. It's just mental with me, you know, and that's what I'm focusing on.
Jimmy, you are revered for a reason. What an absolute privilege for all of us to be here in this room, to hear your thoughts, and for everybody who happened to tune in on the TV, to see you make it through again for the first time in 12 years to the last 32.
Thanks, Rob.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See you at the Barbican on the big stage. Dave, back to you, because we've got other matches finishing, but what a headline act. The Whirlwind is going to storm his way into the Barbican. He's on fire. The Whirlwind's all over it, and he will be. It might be Jack Lazowski, but it might not. Jimmy White will be there on Saturday.